Hello everybody, Rams of the South Stand, Conor here, and I just wanted to do something a little bit different today. I wanted to respond from an all Leeds TV perspective on Ian Moose Abraham's comments on Leeds United really, and the fact that he doesn't think that it's good for the English game if two of English football sort of institutions really in Norwich and Leeds get promoted, and he's basically said that because he wants more English coaches in the game. Now off the top of my head I can think of Allardyce, Hughes, Bruce, Cottrell, Redknapp, just in recent times managers that haven't been successful in their clubs. And the fundamental reason behind that at a lot of the clubs was because of the football they were playing. It was because they were sort of stagnant in their abilities to get the best out of players, and they were in that rigid formation and rigid style of play that they've been in for the past 10-15 years. And they weren't evolving, and it just annoys me the fact that Moose will have never gone and watched Leeds. He'll have never gone and watched Daniel Farke at Norwich and the things that he's doing down there. You know, 3 academy graduates in that Norwich side, including they've got a lad called Todd Cantwell, who's a very good player, very impressive. And I can't really comment that much on the Norwich squad because I've not got that much information on, but just from a footballing point of view, I like what Norwich do. They're on a limited budget. They've invested about 5 to 6 million in their academy and their training facilities down there at the start of the season. I remember it was well documented. And it's great, it's fantastic, and that's what football should be. It should be about teams doing what they can, doing to the best of their ability to get to the Premier League. And to come out and say, we shouldn't do that because we've gone to a continental manager or a Mediterranean manager or a manager from Germany, for instance with Farke, I just think it's completely pig ignorant. And there's no way he'll have gone and watched Leeds, for example, because Leeds have got so many English players in that squad now, so much English talent coming through. You know, when we've had the likes of Cook, Byron, Mowat, Taylor, Milner, Lennon, you know, those sort of ilk in the past 10-15 years, and we've got a proven record of producing really good players from our academy. And the fact that you're coming out and saying that more English coaches need to be in the top division because there's only 4. Well, a lot of those 4 are checkbook managers as well, Ian. I mean, the one that I probably disagree with there would be Warnock. I don't think he is, but you know, you look at, for example, in our league, you've got Pulis, you've got Darren Moore, Dean Smith, who are all working on very healthy budgets. But then you come to Daniel Farke at Norwich, Marcelo Bielsa at Leeds. They might be on nice wage packets themselves, but their transfer budget hasn't been utilised. It's not there and ready for them to use. They're using whatever they can. They're using academy graduates. They're using loans. They're using players from previous experiences that they've managed to bring the club. Leeds, for example, Marcelo Bielsa turned around. He wanted an English foundation at Leeds United because he feels that that is a working class club, that he wants to get to that next level. He wants to improve players. He wants to manage players. That's sort of left English football at the minute. What a manager's role is. It's not to get millions and millions of pounds in. It's to manage a player, it's to put an arm around a player, it's to make the player better. You come and watch Leeds, Ian, and you will see an entire squad who are performing levels above what they were last season. We finished 13th and we're now 2nd in the division, playing the best football I've ever seen in my lifetime. We're having every international journalist coming and watching Leeds. We're having every international TV channel featuring us because everyone's excited. Everybody's excited to see Leeds back in the Premier League. Why would you not want 2 of football's institutions back in the top league? You know, especially us, because we've been out of it for so long. He's persevering with the youth, and that's what Bielsa's always done throughout his career. But as a sort of like mildly respected journalist, I expected you to know that, Ian, that he's not going to come in, he's not going to buy loads and loads of foreigners because he's never done that wherever he's been. He's always tried to work with what he has. What he's trying to do is develop and sustain a project at Leeds, so that when he goes, someone like Carlos Corberán can come in. And Carlos can take on what he's got, and he's trying to develop a project. We've never had a project before. You know, we went down the English route before, we tried that with Heckingbottom, but once again it was a rigid, sort of old-fashioned mentality. It was a rigid formation, it wasn't fluid. That's why the top teams, the Man Cities, the Liverpools, go for Jurgen Klopp, go for Pep Guardiola, because the English coaches, the likes of Hughes, Allardyce, Bruce, etc., Redknapp, they're sort of, it's in the Stone Age now. You look at Warnock, this might be his last couple of seasons now. And you look at even managers like Dean Smith, they're getting ideas from Spain, they're getting ideas from the Mediterranean, because that's the philosophy of football. If you knew football, you'd watch Brentford and think that they were the sort of our division's Barcelona. They pass it around, they're quick on the counter-attack. He's even openly said, Dean Smith, that he gets a lot of his coaching philosophies from the Mediterranean. So if you know any of this, Moose, then you wouldn't have made these sort of pig-ignorant comments. And what you don't get many English managers doing now is staying at a club for long. If another offer comes, they will go. Whereas someone like Bielsa, for example, with Leeds, I know Farke's doing it, Norwich is trying to build a project. And when I mentioned Carlos Corberán coming in after Bielsa, Bielsa wants that. He wants to leave a legacy. And you don't get many English managers doing that. The only one manager I can think of is Gareth Southgate at England, and where have all of his ideas come from? And where have all of England's successes come from? We've not had periods of trophy winning England, of course we haven't, but the style of football we were playing at the World Cup, the passing out from the back, the quick football, the width, that is the Mediterranean style of football. That's what Barcelona introduced in 2005 to 2018. They're still doing it now, and that's where we all get our ideas from. Football modernises, Ian, and I think you're still in a little bit of the Stone Age, to be honest, mate. The brand new coaching philosophies coming from these areas are what's winning football matches. You look at what we watch every single year, it's not been great, but now we've had one manager who's come in and completely changed the identity of the squad in such a short period of time. It's brilliant. I think that would be excellent to have in the Premier League, entertaining football on a budget, if we can do that. You look at the international impact as well that Southgate will be able to have with players like Todd Cantwell, with players at Leeds like Clark, Shackleton and Phillips, all been looked at internationally. So if it's bad for the English game, Leeds getting in the top division with English players, that I don't really understand where you're going with that. And obviously with Norwich as well, they're doing the exact same thing. So I think you need to do a little bit of your research, and there's a reason why Gareth Southgate's been at a couple of Leeds games this season. I mean, I have Norwich mates at the minute who are loving the football. They're absolutely loving the football down there. They're playing very entertaining football. And you've got managers coming over and they're trying to learn the English way. They're trying to embed. I mean, you look at Liverpool. Look at how many British players are in that Liverpool squad. Henderson, Milner, Robertson, Gomez. How are you? I'm struggling to sort of understand. It's an obscene statement. And that's why you've got so many respected journalists out there, such as Jake Humphries, such as even ex-pros like Darren Huckabee, coming on and just talking what nonsense that you're speaking, really. I mean, it really sort of solidifies it with me, because you've done your Newcastle comment as well when Ian came out and he said that Newcastle were a small club, and he also said Mourinho was a better manager than Fergie. He loves the clicks, so I just wanted to give our say on it. I think a lot of Norwich channels are doing the same thing. You talk about the academy as well. I mean, we've produced one of the only World Cup winner, Lewis Cook, for the under-19s or under-20 it might have been. They won the World Cup in the summer. So, and that's because we gave him a chance, and someone like Bielsa would have thrived under him. Maybe an English manager might have sold him on. I mean, a track record they have done, haven't they? But that's just my say. That's my say anyway, guys. I wanted to do a video on it. Please, if you like this video, please smash that like button. It's massive for us. Tell me what you think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you later.